Yo, this is Ace Banton in SAT building, baby. You're watching SAT Telecom, that's the number one choice. Boom!
Wherever the iron play, I'll be there. Wherever the steel band play, I'll be there. Anytime it's carnival, yo, festival, bacchanal, behind the big truck, down the road, everybody, they know that I'll be there. Yo, this is Mr. Challenge, you're watching SAT TV, the people's choice.
Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Shanna Esprit, your presenter. In our top stories today, Scott's Head residents amazed at new beach discovery, war of words between Britain and Turks and Caicos, Syria conflict, EU to discuss arms ban as anniversary marked, and in sports, RC doctors secure full points from Underground Stars no-show.
SAT Telecoms. And I'm a tutuni. Big up, one love.
It's only when we unite as one, then a lot more thing can be done. Stop this useless fight down, killing out your own brother man. Time we rise and all realize we have an enemy in disguise, standing right in the mix of you. Got to know who is who. This is Derek Peters and you're watching SAT TV. That's what I have, SAT TV. SAT TV, that's the way to go. Rah! To the world. Ooh diddy, ooh diddy, ooh diddy.
Thank you for staying with us. Mr. Francis Richards, president of the Dominica Arts and Crafts Association, says they are focused and equipped for all the challenges ahead of them. Mr. Richards, who has been the president since 2010, says they started off almost in response to a call from the Invest Dominica Authority, who asked the Arts and Crafts members to assemble for a meeting at the Public Union Office. This was in regards to the development of Arts and Crafts. He mentioned at the time there was not any arranged grouping. However, at the end of the discussion, an individual randomly nominated him as the president. Today, he says his team is involved in a large variety of arts and crafts items.
We have a wide range of products, product range from our members. So we are into wood, straw, soft furnishings, beads, jewelry, the whole range of carvings, paintings, the whole range of arts and craft items. And even for those that are not yet on stream, we are in it. So our focus has been over the years to draw attention to the fact that Dominica is able and has been able to a long time, to produce arts and craft items that are as good as, and in some cases better than, what we have on the market.
We tried to do a series of Buy Dominica programs, he added.
So there was a Buy Dominica Christmas extravaganza that was held at the Rosa Market. There was also a Buy Dominica Carnival shopping extravaganza at the Rosa Market as well. And there is to come for Easter, I think it is going to be 27th and 28th of March, Buy Local, not necessarily Buy Local, but a Buy Dominica shopping extravaganza as well. And all those shopping events has been in collaboration with the Dominica Manufacturers Association.
Mr. Richards commended Dexia for allowing them to use the Rosa Market, which normally is unavailable throughout the week. He said during the cruise ship season, they try their utmost best to present the Dominica arts and crafts products to the locals as well as the visitors. To pick up an item that you thought was made in Dominica and finding out it was not is extremely embarrassing for the country, he added.
Only to be very disappointed when you get home, or even right there on the spot, you pick it up, you turn it over, and you realize, wait a while, but that doesn't look Dominican. You look at it, it says there's a Dominica sticker on it, but if you were to just peel that sticker off, you will see it's made somewhere else. and that is really bad news. The reasons that we get for that from the vendors is that, I mean, it's a fast buck, easy way out, but from a craft side standpoint, I know it's going to hurt us really, really bad. I've heard some horror stories all the way into the Carib territory, the Painago area, where persons have found non-authentic items all the way up in that area, and that's absolutely crazy.
Mr. Richards would also like to send out his sympathy to the family and friends of one of the former vendors from DACA, Miss Agatha Green, who recently died at the age of 80. He said although she was old, she would make sure that she was present and the earliest at every meeting.
She was over 80 years old, and she did items that she has gone to the great beyond with the information. She used banana and plantain, the stems, that she would plait that out and draw out material sufficient to make hats and mats, fantastic stuff. And we never got an opportunity to find a way to pass that on in an organized way, so the legacy lives on. She's gone to the great beyond with it.
We at SAD would also like to extend our condolences to the family and friends of the late Agatha Green. In other stories, with Dominica being selected to host the International Home Series 2013, a senior police officer is advising the public to be on their very best behavior while cooperating with all traffic rules and regulations of the police department. The series, which is between the West Indies and Zimbabwe, will run from March 20th to 24th, 2013 at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Assistant Superintendent of Police Ainsworth Irish says the security and safety will be high on the agenda as the players arrive in Dominica on Sunday, March 17th, 2013. Mr. Irish also added that during the matches, there will be search teams at the entrance and exits to prevent patrons from entering with prohibited items and/or weapons.
Let me hasten to add that there will be no vending allowed in the precincts except it's authorized and legitimate vending will be allowed, that is, but persons should not be vending willy-nilly. We will ensure that we have a proper control. The officers will be posted at key areas at the various zones to, to police the event, because obviously we have persons from VIPs will be coming into the park and dignitaries. And as I speak of dignitaries, I should say that even if you have a VIP pass, it is expected that the persons holding VIP passes will have the tickets to accompany them to ensure that everything is done appropriately. And as I speak again about the ticketing aspect of it, I must say that the tickets will be numbered, and we expect persons to, when somebody, for instance, they take their seat at the Windsor Park, that seat is still available for the person.
He said over the years they had the cooperation of the public, and this is exactly what he wants repeated to ensure everything runs smoothly. Mr. Irish revealed that the police will be out in large numbers, especially the Criminal Investigation Department, during each day of the series, patrolling to ensure persons do not take advantage of unsuspecting victims. Inspector Lawrence, who spoke on behalf of the Traffic Department, shed light on the changes that will be made during the International Home Series 2013.
There'll be no parking areas, and there'll be no parking on either side of Valley Road from its junction with Bath Road to Josephine Gabriel and Company, either side of the Windsor Park Link Road from the junction of Rose Street to Bath Road. So no parking will be allowed on either side of the Windsor Park Stadium from Rose Street to Bath Road. There'll be one-side parking on Emsall Road and the southeast gate of the Botanical Garden. On the southern side of Valley Road from Josephine Gabriel and Company to the intersection of Emsall Road, and one-side parking on the eastern side of Jupini Lane. There'll be reserved parking. There'll be parking shall be reserved on that portion of Kennedy Avenue from the eastern end of the Lapland bus stop to its junction with Bath Road. There'll be one-way traffic. No entry will be permitted on Jupini Lane from south to north. Traffic will not be allowed to travel northwards, that is towards the roundabout. So Jupini Lane, right around the Lindo Park, that's the eastern lane immediately after the Lindo Park. One would not be permitted to travel from south to north, but rather from the roundabout area down to Rose Street.
Motor vehicles traveling east along Kennedy Avenue from Independence Street will have to turn left into the government headquarters and onto Hillsborough Street.
Once you're traveling along Kennedy Avenue, when you get to that main gate to government headquarters on Kennedy Avenue, there'll be no entry beyond that gate, and then you'll have to turn into the government compound and exit onto Hillsborough Street. There'll be no entry. There'll be no foot traffic beyond the junction of Bath Road and Cock Street. So again, immediately after you pass the fire and ambulance service and you reach right around Cock Street there, you will then have to turn left down onto Cock Street. Immediately after that junction, there'll be no foot traffic, there'll be no entry, so no one will be permitted to enter that area. Save for local access, persons who reside in that area, yes, we'll allow them in. But beyond that, no persons will be allowed to go through that area. There'll be no foot traffic also in the junction, beyond the junction of Bath Road and Hillsborough Street. So then again, if you're coming down the Link Road, when you get to Bath Road, then you then have to turn right onto Hillsborough Street. So right at that end of government headquarters, there'll be barriers here, and you won't be permitted to go beyond that junction.
Inspector Lawrence says these traffic arrangements are very important throughout the series and is urging the public to adhere to all traffic signs of the police department. Because of the numerous traffic diversions, he says patrons are advised to seek the option of carpooling as much as possible. In more news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has congratulated the People's Republic of China's newly elected president, Xi Jinping, who not only serves as China's president but also as General Secretary of the Communist Party and Commander-in-Chief of China's Armed Forces. Mr. Jinping indicated his intention to lead a Chinese renaissance, stating that he is committed to building an even more prosperous and proud future for China. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said that he is immensely pleased that the delegates at the National People's Congress have chosen Xi Jinping to lead one of the most powerful economies in the world, while adding that President Xi Jinping can exert a positive influence on the density of hundreds of millions of people in China and around the world. In an official congratulatory letter to the new president, Prime Minister Skerrit stated, and I quote, "I have no doubt that with your profile and qualifications, the PRC and indeed the world has found in you the leadership required to advance on the progress made, including the finding of solutions to many economic and political challenges of our time," end quote. Mr. Skerrit also stated to the new Chinese president that Dominica has shared a special bond with the PRC since the establishment of diplomatic relations 9 years ago, while adding the two countries had progressive success in international fora on a number of areas of mutual interest. The Prime Minister added that the technical cooperation program shared between China and Dominica is second to none and includes projects and programs that have far-reaching impact on improving the quality of life of the Dominican people, particularly the rural and more vulnerable. He went on to say that he is looking to even greater collaboration under the stewardship of Mr. Xi Jinping. Mr. Skerrit also congratulated the new Roman Catholic Pope, His Holiness Pope Francis, as he ascended to the throne of St. Peter. Mr. Skerrit says the Pope serves as a champion of the most vulnerable among us and carries forth Christ's message of love and compassion, a simple message that has nonetheless served to inspire the world for well over 2,000 years. He pointed out that we Dominicans are delighted with the selection of Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina, the first pontiff from the Americas, while adding his selection speaks to the strength and vitality of the Latin America and the Caribbean region. The people of Dominica join with other people of faith across the globe in offering our prayers to the Holy Father as he begins the sacred work of leading the Catholic Church, said Mr. Skerritt.
Something's happening.
Something truly was happening in the village of Scott's Head, which has the residents excited, as they discovered a white sand beach on the normally rough side of the Atlantic Sea. Scott's Head resident Mr. Conrad Caesar says this unbelievable but true discovery was observed 2 days ago following heavy sea swells which battered the village over the weekend and at the beginning of the week. He said this new beach has attracted many tourists and villagers alike who enjoy sea baths.
We never used to have see a large beach like that before in Scott's Head. But we know when this is rough or disaster, we get a little beach and it doesn't be large as it is. But now we have a nice large beach. Many people can come on it and bathe and even walk to the sea and at the Atlantic Ocean, where people never used to go and walk. I know in my young days, we used to use a piece of board they call it tot, and we just fillet lamb. So when the sea have waves, it have big waves, the young people go and then they skid themselves under the wave to come ashore on a piece of board. And they never had sand, it's always stones. Now today we're seeing they have sand looking so nice, attracting people, attracting tourists, attracting our visitors from Roseau. And if you have to look at the sand have two different colors. We know that our sea sand always look black, but now it have two colors, black and white.
Mr. Caesar revealed after looking at the white sand, he reminisced when people used to build homes with sea sand, and upon further investigation, it was discovered that this is the same sand that was used long ago. He added he does not know how long this beach will remain as is, because if the sea gets rough, it may be transformed back to an area filled with rocks like it usually is. He said, though there would be some sand after rough seas or following a hurricane, it has never resulted in a beach, especially one this large, which is amazing as it only occurs during the Lenten season.
In my young days, I know Scott's Head, both on the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea, was a lot of sand. People used to play cricket around this area. In my young days, when I was a young little boy running around this Scott's Head by the bayside, we didn't have stones. We had small gravels where people used to pick up gravels when they build in their houses. But now we have big gravels, and everywhere in the community now is stones. When fishermen used to pull their boats in my young age days, it wasn't stones, it was sand. People playing cricket. We had a lot of sea grapes tree and a tree they call margini. And now, since Hurricane David, all those things have disappeared, and people start putting coconut tree and almond tree in Scott's Head. So that's why some people that older than us says it is not the first time that sand is there, because there is always a sandy place, but our young people don't know much about it, and it's amazing them now to see so much a nice sand that is on the beach.
Mr. Marcel Matthew from Scott's Head added, since after Hurricane David, he has never seen sand on the Atlantic side of that area, so witnessing an actual beach there can only be described as the work of God.
For the past 2 days when we see that, it's like my friend and I, Trevor, we just decided to take on our own and just do a clean up, you know what I mean? Just clean the area and burn up the place and, make it look more attractive, you know what I mean? Because as you know, a lot of people normally come here and spend their little time and have their bath and things. So if it look more attractive to them, like much more will come, you know what I mean?
Marine Warden Mr. Dan Allen, responsible for the Soufriere Scott's Head Marine Reserve, says he is impressed with this newfound beach, especially as the Marine Reserve is part of the community.
Some people told me that the beach before, during like the 1800s, used to be, like really sandy, all this area. The name of this place is called Tusab, which is Sandy Hole. And when you come here, you don't even see sand. You only see the sand when you get into the water. So seeing it here right now is like a very, very good sign, a positive sign. And it gives the people like some new spirit, you know, to see that. And it's a good sign for the entire community of Scott's Head.
Mr. Allen stated, currently the Atlantic Ocean is calm, how the Caribbean Sea normally is, while the Caribbean Sea is rough like how the Atlantic Ocean normally is, as if they have switched places. He is urging all users of this newfound beach to ensure they keep it clean whenever they use it, so it remains for a long time. It will be another tourist attraction for the area. In other stories, the Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization are joining the call for less salt, please, during this year's World Salt Awareness Week. The March 11th to 17th campaign urges everyone to help reduce dietary salt, with a focus this year of chefs, caterers, and others who prepare food for consumption outside the home. Ms. Branka Legitic, who leads the salt reduction efforts, says restaurants and caterers often add excessive salt to foods because they think that is what customers want. Ms. Legitic added that people can in fact change their taste for salt over time. If you gradually consume less salt, you will gradually want less salt, she added. Sports Officer Mr. Godwin Dorset says this is a good initiative from PAHO and he supports it.
Okay, the request from PAHO in that wanting individuals to consume less salt is something I can see if I can be it will be in the affirmative with PAHO, since we have come to notice that the use of excess salts in one's diet can do often causes this problem with their health. You know, and on many occasions we have persons suffering with hypertension and diabetes and these type of illnesses.
Mr. Dorset noted salt is an essential part of the human diet, but most people consume more than they realize and more than is healthy. He said consuming excessive salt contributes health problems, including to high blood pressure, a major risk factor for heart attacks and strokes, and kidney diseases.
While we have a very different type of salt, which is very much essential for diet and growth and strong bones and teeth and everything like that, but we do have to use it in accordance with your health and what is necessary, not overdoing it. So I am definitely would side with PAHO on the fact that one should consume less salt in the diet so that they may not become ill.
Mr. Dorset added, oftentimes individuals believe by eating less meat they will be healthier. However, he disagrees.
Generally, like you said earlier, it's not meat is good, milk is good. You know, so persons have their own belief rituals and things like that for not eating meat and eating fish and so forth. We often say, well, a well-balanced diet is what is good for you, okay? Because you request meat in your diet, you request you need the milk in your diet definitely, and all the other things like the protein, the carbohydrate, all of these are necessary. But then it goes back to the same thing I just said.
PAHO recommends that adults consume less than 5 grams of salt per day. In more news, for our country to continue towards development, we need to build strong foundations for the future generation by investing in their education and welfare. Today, at the launch of the Courts Community Action Plan project, it was evident that the aim is to assist in needy schools from various communities. The Alpha Center and the Collier Primary School will be the first 2 schools to benefit from such a program.
What we have been focusing more or less is on the leaders of tomorrow, the school children. They play a very vital part in our community and in our futures as well. School plays a central role in promoting children's health and well-being. So the projects that we are endeavoring to take upon in these upcoming weeks will enable the children to have a proper meal when they go to school, and that involves the Collier Primary School. And at the Alpha Center, it will help with their well-being in terms of storage and providing the necessary tools that they need to function properly.
Mrs. Castle said she hopes this project encourages the communities and business entities to assist in such programs since we are in a stagnant economy. She said it does not have to be monetary assistance. There is a lot that can be done. Ms. Rachel Samuel gave an overview of CCAP's aim and mission.
The Community Action Partnership is a non-profit service responsibility committed to providing various support and services to our communities. Courts Dominica Limited, providing the funding and staff volunteering their time and services in executing the projects. This is evident that we care about the communities we serve and truly dedicate to helping people change lives. Basically, as we have as part of our logo, we care, we deliver. Our mission is to work in partnership with the local communities to eliminate the causes and conditions of poverty and to promote Courts not only as the number one in furniture and appliances, but the number one in community service support.
The principal of the Alpha Center, Brother Philogen, expressed his gratitude towards Courts Dominica Limited for their generous offer.
To Courts Dominica Limited, I want to say thank you very much. When Miss Samuel called and asked how could we assist, strange but true, we needed the doors repaired and we did a couple of the things. We had the estimate done and we could not reach the cost. So when Miss Samuel asked, we just passed it on to her and she said, we'll take it on and more. So how much more can we be appreciative than to say a very big thank you to Courts and to the staff and the media for making it known what is happening at the Alpha Center. Alpha Center is a school for children with special needs. And we appreciate that very much that you look out for them because we're a little community, but we're a group of people with big hearts reaching out to these children who are very special. And we look forward to your involvement.
Mrs. Jane George, the principal of the Collier Primary School, was another recipient of the CCAP project. She too expressed her thanks to Courts.
I stand here this morning to say a huge thank you to Courts. They come to us at a time when it was most needed. And fortunately for us, well, I did not even ask, but they wanted to do a project in Collier, and the village council referred them to the school because they know of our needs. And I would just like to say thank you, Courts, because we are getting more than we really ask for or would like. Because here it is, we had our kitchen cupboards been deteriorating. We had a termite problem there. And I was wondering, how are we going to respond to get that done? And it just came. The offer just came and I embraced it. And I would like to say thank you. Thank you, Courts.
Courts Dominica Limited said this is just one of the many projects they plan on undertaking. In other news, after lots of planning, practicing, and preparations, the Division of Culture held the last leg of its activities at the National Schools Arts Festival today, Friday, March 15, 2013, at the Arawak House of Culture. 22 schools, both primary and secondary, were participants in the creative dance segment, along with students and teachers who came to support their schools respectively. Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, emphasized that the show would definitely be one of excitement. Can you tell us briefly what is taking place on day 3 at the National Arts Festival?
Yes. Well, today we have the creative dance. So we have 13 primary schools and we also have 9 secondary schools. Total of 22 schools participating in today's activity. And during the past days we had choirs, we had vocal solo performances, choral, speech, instrumental ensembles, and we had theater as well, drama from both primary and secondary. So today is going to be very, very exciting. Dance is always a very exciting event and day, and usually the attendance is very, very good too. So today climaxes and brings to an end the National Schools Arts Festival. So we all look forward to a very enjoyable, entertaining, and exciting dance festival today.
Mr. Lawrence said the creative dances performed by the students were choreographed by choreographers and the teachers. However, if they needed technical assistance, the cultural division would assist. He was proud to say that the materials produced from the teachers, students, and choreographers for the creative dance segment were excellent. The Bioche Primary School was the first to showcase their dance with the title Afro-Caribbean Expression. They incorporated both modern and traditional dance in their choreography, which was in union with their theme. The Bioche community is well known for its contribution to culture, which could definitely be seen throughout their performance. The Convent Preparatory School's title was African Pride, which was displayed through their attire and dance. They were a crowd favorite. Interestingly, the Maho Primary School was an eye-catcher with its title, Puppy Love. Their dance was mainly traditional and included heel and toe, one of the most popular dances. The National Schools Art Festival is a biannual event that is very beneficial to the growth and development of the arts and culture in Dominica. We now go to this week's Street Talk. With the election of a new pope on Wednesday, March 13, 2013, SAT TV took to the streets to get the public's views.
A Christian, I am happy that a new pope was elected, especially one from South America. I think this is breaking the tradition, getting away from Rome and putting new blood into the Catholic faith right now, and it needs it. From what I read, his personality, I really hope he can use his personality to change a lot of the negatives that has been circulated about the Catholic Church.
I think he is the best pope that we could have. He is a very humble man, and he will be looking out for the poor, so he will deal with the issues that are affecting the poor people.
I honestly was hoping that we would have gotten a black pope, because you know in times of crisis they usually put a black figure to represent, like for instance Obama. So I was really counting on a black pope, like maybe one of the Canadians guys, or somebody from Africa. I was really expecting that.
Honestly, I think, well, first of all, I have to say congratulations to the newly appointed Pope, Pope Francis. I think it's a right step in terms of putting things back in order in terms of what it is for the Catholic Church.
The most important thing I would like to see that the priests, these people get married to avoid sexual immorality and bring a kind of cleanliness and holiness upon the whole nation, you know, that those kind of curses will be break because of young people that have been suffering, young men have been seeing the experience, those kind of experience. And I know sometimes when people come out under those things, it's hard for them to recover.
Get the trust of the people again, because I know over time has passed and a lot of things have been happening that have sort of had a dark cloud over the whole Catholic organization, and I think that one of the things that really needs to be done is that to give people that calm sense of security that the Catholic Church is alive and well, and that when people go to church and they offer their penances and so forth to the Lord, that is going for something meaningful and is not being taken for a mockery or joke.
God's pattern is that a bishop should be married and that they would give it to the men. They would be free to have their wives, to produce children, and to be a blessing in the nation, that people could look up to them. It's as they call themselves father. The best father is to have your wife. It's true to be father of the church, but to have your wife and to give the nation, the world, a very good example. That's what I'm looking forward for him.
I am Shana Esprit reporting for SAT TV News. Do have yourselves a great week. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.